Hello, this is John Noble reporting for tonight's advocacy ruling. I need to look at something that I looked up on a YouTube site about Victorian government and the definitions of what a restraining order is. A family intervention orders. An intervention order to the court and made by the magistrate under the Family Violence Protection Act of 2008 of Stalking Intervention Orders Act of 2008. I think what the Victorian Police have done, they have breached the Disability Discrimination Act, they have breached the disability laws, and also what they have now out is called the Disability Plan. So the police have taken this out of context. They have acted corruptly. They've gone to this Richard Pitt house of this Victorian town. Now I'm just looking at the Family Violence Intervention Order. As the mother and stepfather would say, they haven't been anywhere in Victoria for the last 2 years, and I'm sure the bank statements would show, and I'm sure all the phone records would show that we don't even contact the father in concern. The application for an intervention order can only be made under the Family Violence Protection Act of 2008, where the family relationship person has been involved in a relationship. The application for the intervention order can be made under the Stalking Intervention Act of 2008, where no family relationship or parties in the neighbours or friends. For information including: what is the definition of a family member? A person who has been affected by a member of the spouse or domestic partner. A person who has had intimate personal relationships with the affected family member. A person who has been relative to the affected family member. A child who normally regularly resides with the affected family member and previously reside. But what I want to do is, I'm not related to the father. The person's not related, and I'm certainly, as John Noble, we're not related as a firm to the family concerned, the father and the stepfather and mother. We aren't related. We're just this firm that deals with these things. But as an advocate, I need to question: where does it have the power for the Victorian police in a country town to take a man to court for no evidence and no reason? What is a family violence intervention order? The purpose of the family violence intervention order is to ensure the safety of affected family member. There is no safety issues here at all. There is no safety issues at all. There is no argument. And then it goes on to preserve any property affected by the family member. There is no affected family member at all. John Noble, as I said, I've spoken with the stepfather and mother, and they haven't been in Victoria for 2 years. And why would you would assume the stepfather which I've cited that, and under the certain legal documents and forms that we've had to get the stepfather signed, we've cited that he has a working with children's blue card. So I really don't understand. We, as acting for the father and stepfather, they have not committed any family violence against a protected person, behaving offensively towards a protected person. They haven't done that. They don't even know, because they haven't been in Victoria for 2 years. It was only through the daughter contacting the mother and giving the father's address. I don't think that constitutes a need for protection. Attending the premises where the protected person lives and works, well, this father has gone to the mother's family member where this person works and is actually goes there frequently and frequently harasses this family member on the streets of this country town, and apparently he can get away with it, but then he can go to a court with Judge Pitthouse and somehow bully a mother and stepfather. I don't think that is correct. So basically, if there is a continual slander and defamation which is going on here, we can see a couple of things happening. This is just a way the father has used the Victorian police to somewhat get at his ex-de facto, the mother. So when we look at this, why would a judge place someone in jail for committing no offences? And then in a high court or an appeal court, that would show that you have a mother and stepfather. The mother has chosen to marry a man and get on with her life. And you have the ex de facto saying, well, I'm sorry, but the mother cannot have her children if she's living with a man. So when you look at all this, basically it comes down to two things. There has been slander. There has been somewhat a big problem. What we need to do is we need to look at the fact is a county court will revisit this so-called restraining order. And I'm sure a county court will say there is no need for any restraining orders, that this restraining order placed on the mother's stepfather or the mother's husband was only placed there to get at the mother. This is not what a restraining order is set up to do. Actually, what it's doing is wasting the resources and the value time of a court. And this Richard Pitthouse has gone along with corrupt police and has been involved in this involvement of bullying a mother and bullying the stepfather. I think in this case they have not looked at mediation, they have not looked at the facts properly, and they continue to persecute and attack a person. As I said, the Victorian government does not care about Victorian citizens and does not care what happens to Victorian citizens. They can say to the hills come home that we do care about the mother and stepfather, but at the end of the day, do they really care? No, they don't. It's all about how to somewhat place certain situations so they can justify what's going on. From our perspective for the firm, and as I said, from our advocacy firm and etc., we have advised that if anything happens to these girls by the father and the stepmother and the stepfather and the biological mother has the right to sue for damages to the Victorian courts. I think enough is enough. We need to return to normality. Normality where these couple can return to normality, and where we as a firm and we as an advocacy group can have this couple return to normality, where let's stop the corruption and let's stop this argument. Let's bring about prevention. Let's bring about prevention, stay within the law, and make sure the law is upheld 100%. And this is the advice we've given the stepfather and the biological mother, is you need to seek legal advice, and you need to also stay within the law. And we can see you guys haven't been in Victoria for 2 years, so how does this Judge Pitthouse become a bully, become a monster to a mother, a biological mother, and deny her rights to her children by allowing the father to use the courts inappropriately, and to also bring about corruption to a police force? Do you know what? The most important thing in this world is we need to clean up drugs and crime and etc. As a firm of John Noble's firm and advocacy, we need to clean up drugs. Why is it country towns in Victoria that the Victorian police in country towns are allowing drugs right under their noses, allowing drugs to be sold, allowing drugs to be dealt? These are alleged allegations. These are alleged allegations because of legal reasons. But if we prove that this is correct through statistical information and also collecting stuff through detective and also video evidence, then we will prove to a higher court that the Victorian government is failing to protect its citizens and to allow corruption at its highest form. This is where Queensland government had a Fitzgerald inquiries. This is where Victoria needs to have their Fitzgerald inquiries. So I'm going to leave it there. And this Fitzgerald inquiries we're asking in Victoria is a lot further than any inquiry that has ever taken place in the history of Victoria. I ask for people to write to their politicians, talk about their unhappiness and about their experiences, lobby the governments, and remember, in the next election, do not vote for someone that does not represent the people of Victoria, and clearly vote federally and state for those who are willing to listen to the members of public and take care of your citizens and your families and your children, not become a police, corrupt and break human rights laws. I'll leave it there, but I encourage you to lobby and support for a better and one country where there is no longer